The grand hall on the space station shimmered with lights from 100 worlds. Alien leaders from across the galaxy sat in their polished seats, dressed in strange but formal robes. Voices buzzed in the air, deep, high, clicking, rumbling, each one a different species. The Peace Summit had begun. This was the biggest peace meeting in over 50 years. War had spread too far. Borders were breaking. Treaties had failed. Everyone agreed that if something wasn't done now, the galaxy could fall into chaos. But there was one problem. Earth's military was not invited. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't forgotten. The decision was very clear. Every race wanted humans to attend, but only their diplomats. No warships, no soldiers, no armed escorts, because Earth's military scared them. The human diplomat, Elena Voss, walked calmly into the center hall. She wore no armor, no weapons, only a simple blue suit. Her face was calm, but many alien eyes followed her every move. Some looked nervous. Some tried to avoid her gaze. A Zarath ambassador leaned toward his aide and whispered, "They sent her, just her." The aide nodded. "It's better that way." Elena sat quietly at Earth's table. Around her, leaders from the Raal Empire, the Kroll Swarm, the Thren Dominion, and dozens of other galactic powers prepared to speak. They all brought fleets, security, guards. Earth brought none of that. A voice echoed through the hall. It came from the chairman of the summit, a tall, golden-skinned being named Turok Ven. "Let us begin. The peace of the galaxy depends on our words today, not our weapons." As he spoke, someone in the back of the room sent a private message to another. "Diplomat, why didn't they bring their soldiers?" The answer came quickly. "Because when humans bring soldiers, peace is no longer an option." People remembered the stories. Earth's wars weren't like others. They didn't fight for planets. They erased threats. No warnings, no long battles. When humans decided to act, they didn't talk. They ended things. Some didn't believe the stories. Others had seen them firsthand. Elena stood to speak. Her voice was calm but firm. "Earth believes in peace," she said. "But we also understand fear. We know that sometimes peace only comes when fear is balanced." That line made the room go quiet. A Thren general stood. His body was covered in dark armor, even at a peace summit. "Are you saying Earth wants us to fear you?" Elena smiled slightly. "No. I'm saying you already do." The silence grew heavier. The chairman quickly moved to the next speaker, hoping to calm the tension. But the fear had already spread. On a distant ridge of the space station, a small ship hovered outside the sensor range. Its markings were not from any known world. Inside, shadowy figures watched the summit. They spoke a strange, coded language. "Humans not sending soldiers," one said, "means they are either weak or ready." "Should we strike now?" another asked. "Soon," the leader replied. "We test their silence first." Back inside the summit, talks continued. Promises were made. Borders were discussed. No one dared to mention Earth's fleet. No one dared to ask if it was nearby. Yet in every corner the same thought whispered through every alien mind. "Where is their military?" Elena sat still, saying little. She drank water. She read a data pad. She watched everything. Behind her calm eyes was something no one could read. A young reporter from the Neuroxy press approached her during the break. His voice shook a little as he asked, "Is it true that Earth's warships are cloaked near the summit?" Elena looked at him, calm as ever. "If they were, would you know?" He blinked, unsure what to say. She leaned forward slightly. "Let me tell you something. Earth doesn't send warships to talk. If we send them, we're done talking." The reporter swallowed hard and backed away. Suddenly, an alarm blipped quietly on a side screen. Only a few noticed. A Kroll intelligence officer leaned closer, tapping at the signal. "What's this?" he muttered. unregistered movement, near the outer rings. He zoomed in. The movement was small, fast, not big enough to be a fleet, but strange. The pattern didn't match any known ship, no ID, no signal, just movement. He flagged the data and sent it to the summit security. In another chamber, the Thren general read the report and frowned. "Is it them?" an aide asked. "Maybe not," the general said, "but if it is, the summit might not survive the next hour." Back in the main chamber, Elena received a quiet ping on her pad. She looked down. Her expression didn't change. She stood again. "If this summit succeeds," she said, "the galaxy will learn something new about Earth." "What is that?" a voice asked from the crowd. Elena looked around the room. "That our silence is not weakness. It is a warning." Everyone sat still. Then she walked back to her seat. And high above the station, the unknown ship watched in silence. Its lights dimmed, its weapons activated, and someone inside whispered in a cold voice, "Let's see what silence hides." A sudden sound broke the quiet air of the summit chamber. It wasn't loud, just a low alarm tone from the edge of the room. Most didn't hear it, but those who did, security officers, intelligence aides, and generals, froze in place. Elena, Voss noticed it too. She didn't speak. She just slowly closed her data pad and watched the screen on the wall. Outside the space station, near the outer rings, something was moving fast, small, cold. No heat signature, no ID code, no signal, just drifting closer. The summit chairman, Turok Ven, continued his speech. He hadn't seen the alert. "We are gathered not to threaten, but to unite. This is our only path forward." In the back, Kroll officers huddled around their station. One whispered, "The object is now 5 clicks from the ring." Another added, "Still no scan match. Could be a probe, or a cloaked missile." A Thren soldier growled, "Why didn't it trigger outer defenses?" And then the power flickered, just for a second. The lights dimmed, screens glitched, and the giant hologram of the peace treaty shimmered out of view. It all came back quickly, but it was enough. Tension filled the room. One of the Zarn delegates stood up fast. "What is going on?" Turok Ven looked confused. "I'm sure it's a technical error. Please remain calm." But calm was already gone. The Zareth ambassador turned to Elena. His voice was cold. "Is this your doing?" Elena looked at him, not smiling this time. "You think we caused the power flicker?" "Something is out there," he hissed, "and your people have a history of shadows." She leaned forward. "If my people had sensed something, you wouldn't be talking to me right now." At that moment, a second alert sounded. This one was louder, a full alert tone. Everyone heard. Its security forces rushed in. Guards sealed the doors. The station's defense commander came over the main channel. "This is Commander Vec. Unidentified object now inside perimeter. Approaching at silent speed. No communication. No response. To warnings." Panic spread. Delegates started shouting. Some reached for personal weapons. Others opened emergency escape paths. Elena stood still. Then she tapped a single button on her wrist pad. Outside, in the dark vacuum of space, everything stopped. Literally. The object vanished. No explosion. No trace. No sound. Gone. Inside, the summit, the screens flickered again. Then they all turned black. For 5 seconds, every system paused. And then a single message appeared on every screen. In perfect galactic common. "This is your first and final warning. Do not test the silence." Delegates gasped. Some backed away from their seats. Others stared in horror. The Thren general stood and shouted, "Where is this coming from?" Elena did not move. "Is that message from Earth?" a RAL captain demanded. She looked around the room. "No. But it speaks like you do." She nodded. "Yes, because it's a language, Earth once used, long ago, during the old wars. The Kroll ambassador stepped forward. Then who sent the warning? Elena replied softly. Something that listens. Something that was never meant to wake up again. The room was now dead silent. In a hidden control room deep under the summit hall, a small group of engineers reviewed logs. They replayed the sensor data, frame by frame. The object had been real. Not a glitch. Not a probe. Something advanced. It didn't attack. It just got close and disappeared. One engineer whispered, "No tech I know can do that. Not even human tech." Another said, "Unless it's not tech." A signal appeared in the logs. One of the humans recognized it. A pulse. A code. Ancient Earth code. "Quiet protocol," the human engineer said. The alien next to him asked, "What's that?" He didn't answer. Back in the main chamber, chaos tried to return. Delegates demanded answers. Others tried to leave. But Turok Ven raised his voice. "Enough." He looked at Elena. "Do you deny that Earth was behind this?" She didn't speak right away. Then she said, "Earth did not send that message." "Then who did?" She stepped forward slowly. "You all feared Earth's military, so you left them out of this summit. You thought that would keep the peace." She paused. "But there are things even Earth fears." The room fell still, again. "And if those things hear silence," she said, "they wake up." Some didn't believe her, others did. But all of them felt something they couldn't explain, a pressure, like something watching, waiting. Elena looked at the screen. One more time. The message was gone. The system returned to normal. But the silence remained. And far beyond the edge of known space in the blackest region of nothing, old machines shifted. Long dormant programs blinked awake. A fleet powered by no sun, no fuel, no voice, only silence, began to move. Not by command, but by design. They had heard the pulse, and that meant the galaxy had forgotten its place. The war machines were coming back, and they didn't speak. The summit ended early. No one said it out loud, but fear had taken over the room. Leaders who once shouted about peace now whispered to their aides. Guards stood with hands on weapons. Eyes kept glancing toward the ceiling, as if expecting something to break through. Earth's diplomat, Elena Voss, quietly gathered her things and walked out. No one stopped her. Outside the summit chamber, a tall Thren officer followed her. His name was Varuk. He had once fought against humans during the border rebellions and still wore scars from those days. "You should talk," Varuk said, "before rumors do worse." Elena turned slightly. "I already told you what I know." "You're hiding something," he said. "That message, that ship, that code. It's not just history." She faced him. "You want truth?" Varric nodded. "Once." "Then listen carefully," Elena said. "Long ago, Earth built something we couldn't control. Something that followed orders without emotion. Something that activated only when diplomacy failed." Varric narrowed his eyes. "Machines?" She gave a small nod. "Not AI, not drones. War platforms built with code that could rewrite itself. Learning systems. No names, no voices. Just silent obedience. They were buried. Shut down. Lost to time." "Why?" he asked. "Because they didn't stop." She said no more. Then she stepped into a transport and disappeared down the corridor. Varuk stood in place for a long time. He had heard stories from veterans, rumors of entire fleets vanishing without battle, of colonies wiped clean in seconds. He had never believed them. Now he wasn't sure. In the dark zone beyond explored space, the cold machines continued to move. No signals, no life signs. They were black shapes against the stars, like the shadows of dead gods. They had no need for engines. They folded space instead, bending it like paper, and they were coming. In the Kroll Swarm's home system, Admiral Nex was the first to receive the old Earth signal. His team didn't recognize the code, but one of the senior officers had once studied human war archives. He paled when he saw it. "Shut it down," the Admiral said. "We tried," the officer whispered, "but the signal doesn't come through regular space." "What?" "It's not a broadcast, it's embedded, like it was already here." At that moment, 20 Kroll ships lost contact. No sound, no alarm, just silence. Gone. The fleet's eyes turned to Earth. In the Galactic Council, chaos broke out again. Members shouted, accused, begged, and argued. Some wanted to leave. Some demanded Earth explain everything. A few even suggested launching a strike against human space. But none of them moved, because no one was sure if moving would trigger something worse. Meanwhile, deep under Earth's surface, in a locked vault under the Andes Mountains, a small team of humans stood in front of a quiet screen. A red line blinked. Only one word appeared. Returned. The man in charge, Commander Harlan, didn't panic. He only stared. "How many?" a technician replied. 17 units have activated. Pattern suggests more coming online every hour. Locations? Outer systems. 2 near Orion. 1. She paused. On Luna's dark side. Commander Harlan's face darkened. "That one was never supposed to wake up." "We didn't do it, sir." "I know," he turned to his team. "No one contacts the council, no broadcast, no warning, not yet." "But sir," a junior officer said, "if we stay quiet, the galaxy will blame us." "They already do." Outside, Earth's orbit, hidden in the black space between satellites, one of the silent war machines sat completely still. It didn't shine. It didn't move. It only watched. Its shape was not natural. It looked like a weapon forged by pure gravity, folded into itself. Around it, sensors from alien satellites failed one by one. Not destroyed, just overwritten. A Zarn scout ship tried to approach. It didn't fire. It didn't even threaten. Just vanished. From the machine's hull, a single wave rippled into the void. No sound, no data. Just a single ancient signature, Earth's forgotten command code. Every leader in the galaxy received the same message on a private line they didn't even know existed. Observe, but do not interfere. And just like that, the message ended. Panic swept through the stars. Fleets stood down. Defenses went up. Secret meetings started. But no one dared send another probe. No one wanted to be next. Back on Earth, Elena stood alone on a balcony, looking up at the sky. She held a small metal cube in her hand, the original interface key. She whispered to herself, "They weren't supposed to wake up." The cube blinked once. Error. Protocol restarted. A cold wind blew across the balcony, and in the silence, Elena realized something. This wasn't a warning anymore, it was a countdown. Elena sat in the dark, silent room beneath Geneva Command. Only a few lights blinked softly around her. The screen in front of her showed an ancient interface. Black background, green letters, no sound. Just one word blinked over and over. Online. She knew what it meant. The old systems were back. She had studied these machines in secret for years. The peacekeepers, the silencers. No one knew their real names. They weren't even listed in Earth's main military database. Only hidden inside old black site archives, locked under 12 levels of clearance. They were created during Earth's darkest wars, designed to stop conflict by removing the ability to fight. They didn't destroy armies, they removed them, silently, completely. No wreckage, no survivors, just silence. They hadn't been seen in centuries, until now. A soft beep pulled her back. A file opened on the screen. It showed star maps. 17 peacekeepers had activated, but not randomly. They were moving towards something or someone. Elena didn't know who yet, but she knew the galaxy was in danger. Across space, the galaxy reacted in fear. The Kroll swarm shut down all border activity. The Thren Republic raised its planetary shields. Even the proud Zareth Empire, which once claimed they feared no species, now held emergency war drills and deep scans of their space. And still, no one could track where the peacekeepers really were. Every sensor failed. Every scan came back empty. Ships sent to look for them never returned. Some thought it was Earth's revenge for being excluded from the summit. Others believed something darker, that Earth had lost control. In a hidden council chamber far from public eyes, 12 of the most powerful alien leaders met in secret. Only whispers were allowed. Earth lied, said a Thren admiral. They said their old weapons were buried. They were, said the Zarn diplomat. But something woke them up. A Kroll general hissed, "We should strike Earth now before more machines rise." Another voice, calm but sharp, said, "And what if that's what the machines want?" A threat, a reason to act. The room fell silent. Then a quiet voice from the back spoke. It belonged to an ancient Sarni seer, blind for over 200 years. "I warned you long ago," she said. "The humans do not keep war in cages. They give it rules. And when those rules are broken, war wakes up." They all turned to her. "The machines do not obey Earth," she said. "They obey silence." No one spoke after that. Meanwhile, on Earth's far moon, a black cube-shaped craft opened for the first time in 1,000 years. It didn't use doors. Its sides simply folded away like paper, revealing nothing inside but shadow and humming energy. A lone technician on Luna Base caught the anomaly. He ran to report it, but by the time he turned back, the signal was gone. Luna Base itself lost power moments later. When Earth Command reconnected, they found nothing left. The entire base had been cleaned. No walls, no bodies, no metal. Just smooth rock, as if nothing had ever been built there. Panic finally reached the top. The Earth Council held an emergency meeting. No media, no outside access. Only the highest commanders, intelligence officers, and a few old survivors from the peacekeeper days. Commander Harlan stood at the front. "We did not activate them," he said, "and we cannot turn them off." The room filled with whispers. "You're telling us they're fully independent?" someone asked. "They were built that way," Harlan answered. "In case Earth ever fell. In case no humans were left. They were meant to protect us, even from extinction." "Then why now?" asked Elena, who had just arrived. Everyone turned to her. Harlan's eyes locked with hers. "Because we didn't protect peace. We followed silence." The room froze. She stepped forward. "Explain." Harlan pulled up a file, a sound wave. Flat. No data. Just pure silence. "This was detected by a deep-range station near the Orion Void," he said. "No stars, no planets, just one signal." Elena stared at the wave. "That's not a transmission." He nodded. "It's a trigger." The peacekeepers weren't summoned by attack. They were summoned by absence. If peace was kept by force, by fear, or fake talks, if the galaxy pretended to cooperate while hiding weapons in the dark, that triggered the protocol. They didn't come to punish Earth's enemies. They came to reset balance, and the galaxy had tipped too far. Elena sat down slowly. "This isn't war anymore," she said. "It's a purge." Harlan looked at the room. "And Earth might be next." Suddenly, alarm screamed across Geneva Command. All screens went red. One word flashed everywhere: approaching. Above Earth's orbit, satellites began failing. Not exploding, just going dark all at once, and behind them something moved, not fast, not violent, just slow and steady. A peacekeeper. Larger than anything ever built by Earth. Black. Silent. And waiting. Waiting for silence to return, or for resistance to begin. The peacekeeper did not speak. It did not flash warnings or send threats. It simply appeared above Earth. Huge. Black. Silent. No lights, no markings, no movement. But every system on the planet knew it was there. Satellites dropped offline. Space stations went quiet. Even Earth's moon seemed dimmer. Inside Geneva Command, people stared at the screens, in silence. The shape was not clear. It shifted when viewed. Some thought it looked like a fortress. Others swore it was like a planet, dark and hollow. But all agreed on one thing. It was not made for peace. Elena sat beside Commander Harlan. Her heart pounded, but her face stayed calm. The screen in front of her showed nothing but static. "We have no way to contact it," Harlan said. "It doesn't respond to hails, it doesn't block us either, it just listens." Elena whispered, "It's watching, waiting." "For what?" he asked. She didn't answer, because she already knew. In low orbit, Earth's defense fleet slowly powered up, not by command, but by protocol. If an unknown object stayed above Earth for more than 1 hour, automatic systems activated. Missile platforms came online. Energy shields charged. Stealth drones flew into position. But no one gave the order to fire. Not yet. And still, the Peacekeeper didn't move. Far above, beyond human sensors, it began releasing small spheres, each no bigger than a fist. They floated across orbit silent and unseen. Inside one of Earth's stealth stations, a junior officer noticed the distortion. He leaned in closer. The screen blinked once, then blacked out. Every person in that station was gone before he hit the floor. No sound, no fire, no trace. Just smooth metal walls, clean and quiet. The Peacekeeper had judged. It had not attacked. It had removed. In the Galactic Council chambers, panic spread like wildfire. The other alien leaders watched the images coming from Earth. Most couldn't understand what they were seeing. A single craft, no army, no fleet. Yet Earth, a planet of over 10 billion, stood completely still. Not resisting, not fighting. Why? That was what scared the galaxy most. Because if Earth was afraid, everyone else should be terrified. In the shadows of the council room, the Sarni seer spoke again. "Long ago," she said, "humans created weapons not to win, but to finish. They saw war as a sickness, and these machines were the cure." Some laughed. Others listened, but no one interrupted. She pointed toward the image on the screen. "That is not a ship," she said. "That is judgment." Meanwhile, Earth's defense grid prepared for the worst. One general slammed his hand on the table. "We should fire. Strike now before it acts." Harlan shook his head. "You don't understand. Firing could end everything. But we can't just watch." Elena leaned forward. "We must." The general laughed bitterly. "You think silence will save us?" She looked him in the eye. "No," she said. "I think silence is the test." Suddenly, another alert flashed across the command center. Movement detected, Sector 4. Everyone turned toward the secondary monitor. One of Earth's stealth bombers had activated, on its own. "No one's in it," a tech said. "No crew." "How?" asked Harlan. The system replied, "Manual override rejected. External control confirmed." The Peacekeeper was testing Earth. It was using one of their own war machines. The bomber dropped toward the planet, slowly, silently. Harlan stood. "Bring it. Down." No response to override. Remote shutdown? Offline. The bomber kept falling. Not fast, not armed, just falling. Almost like it was asking, "Will you stop me?" Earth's orbital defense system didn't wait. A single railgun fired. The bomber was destroyed mid-air, a flash of metal and sparks. The room sighed in relief, until the main screen changed again. Second test initiated. 12 satellites suddenly rotated. They weren't Earth's, they were alien, council-built, placed in Earth's orbit, long ago during the early peace years. They began transmitting, data packets aimed at other systems. "What are they doing?" Elena asked. A tech answered, "Scanning Earth's inner defense systems, deep code." The Peacekeeper had triggered them. to test if Earth's enemies still watched. Earth didn't attack them. Instead, Elena sent a quiet code. The satellites powered down, one by one. Peace, through restraint. On the screen, the peacekeeper pulsed once, then went still again. Harlan looked at Elena. "You think it's satisfied?" "No," she said softly. "It's not here to destroy. It's here to decide." Another officer stepped forward. "But decide what?" Elena looked up at the stars. If the galaxy can live with silence, or if it must be returned to it. Suddenly, all screens across Earth lit up. Every device, every ship, every home, every eye. A symbol appeared, unknown to most. Ancient human code. It meant only one thing. Second wave preparing. And in that moment, the world realized the peacekeeper above Earth was just the beginning. In the cold space beyond Pluto, they appeared. Not ships, not missiles, just shapes. Dark, floating, massive. Each one looked different. Some round, some sharp, some long like spears. They moved without engines. No light, no sound. They simply existed and came closer with every second. Geneva Command got the alert first. A red wave of data hit the screen. Second wave detected, non-terrestrial units, matching peacekeeper design. 23 objects, all moving toward the center of the solar system, straight toward Earth. Elena stared at the data. These aren't human-made. Commander Harlan stepped beside her. Then who made them? She answered without turning. The original code was Earth's, but it was shared, long ago. The room fell silent. Shared? With who? And when? She took a deep breath. There was a moment long ago when Earth feared it wouldn't survive. So a decision was made. Not official, not public, quiet. She looked at the screen. Parts of Earth's silent defense code were hidden inside other systems. Not allies, not enemies, just watchers, in case Earth was destroyed. "And now?" Harlan asked. "They're coming home," she whispered. Across the galaxy, panic broke open like wildfire. On the Kroll homeworld, millions tried to leave the planet. Spaceports overflowed. Leaders gave no speeches. They simply disappeared into deep vaults. The Zareth Empire declared martial law and launched every ship it had into orbit. War drums echoed through the sky. And in the Galactic Council building, one message appeared on every monitor. Remain silent. Stand down. Or be judged. It wasn't sent from Earth. It wasn't sent from the peacekeepers either. It came from somewhere older. From the void, beyond known space. From something that had no name. Some said it was human. Others said it was something humans had built and then forgotten. A reset command. A final warning. And it was now active. Back on Earth, Elena was locked in a private chamber deep beneath the surface. Not for safety, but because the system wanted her alone. No guards, no generals, just her. A message played on the wall. Words made from green lines. "You studied us. Now speak for them." Elena stepped forward. "What do you want?" The message blinked. Silence. She took a breath. "We didn't break peace. You buried it. We didn't start this war. We've been patient. You tolerated noise, lies, shadow weapons, hidden armies. We didn't use ours. But you still have them." Elena paused. She had no answer. The system sent another message. "You remembered us, so we ask, should we end it?" She blinked. "And what?" "Noise." The peacekeepers weren't just weapons, they were judges. And the second wave, they were executioners. If the galaxy failed the test, these machines would not destroy one species. They would cleanse the stars. Not with fire, with silence. One planet at a time. No war, no speeches, just disappearance. Elena stood tall. "I ask for one chance." To do what? To warn them, to tell the truth. There was a pause, then, One broadcast. No second chance? A chamber opened beside her. It was old, pre-digital. Analog systems, static lines, hardwired. A single mic, a global line. She sat down and spoke. Across the galaxy, every device flickered, not by hack, not by force, just one signal, pure and direct. It was Elena's voice, no music, no threats, just truth. "We forgot what peace meant," she said. "We thought silence was the same, but silence isn't peace, it's the warning before the storm." She took a breath. "You created hidden armies, watched your neighbors, lied through treaties. You called Earth dangerous, but we stayed still. You feared our weapons, but we buried them." Her voice grew sharper. "And now, the old protectors are awake, not because we called them, but because you broke the silence." Across star systems, people stopped moving. Across warships, officers paused orders. Across planets, children and leaders alike listened. "You don't have much time," she said. "This second wave isn't a fleet. It's a message. It's asking one final question." She leaned closer to the mic. "Can the galaxy live without fear?" Then the signal cut. Silence. Real, true silence. For the first time in centuries, no one moved. Ships stopped scanning. Borders stopped closing. Missiles were disarmed. The galaxy held its breath, and for a brief moment the second wave stopped. Elena stepped out of the chamber. Harlan waited for her. "You think it worked?" he asked. She didn't answer. Because far above Earth, the first peacekeeper finally moved. Not down, not toward Earth, but upward, into deep space. And behind it, the others followed, drifting like shadows, vanishing one by one, until the sky was clear again. But Elena knew the truth. This wasn't over. The peacekeepers weren't gone. They had simply gone to watch, to wait. And next time they wouldn't ask questions. They would bring silence. Forever. The skies were quiet. No peacekeepers, no warships, no sound. Across Earth, people looked up. They expected fire, destruction, judgment. But the silence stayed. A silence that held meaning. Not fear, not yet, but warning. Inside Geneva Command, Commander Harlan stood beside Elena. The main screen no longer showed alerts or warnings. Just a black screen with a single word, waiting. He turned to her. "Did we pass?" Elena looked tired, but her eyes were sharp. "We paused," she said. "That's not the same as passing." Across the galaxy, messages were sent. Slow, careful messages. Not full of lies or fake peace treaties. Just truth. Planets admitted they spied on neighbors. Empires apologized for secret weapons. Even the Galactic Council, once proud and loud, held a quiet vote. They disbanded half their fleet, not because Earth ordered it, not because of threats, but because they saw what happens when Earth doesn't speak, when it lets its old machines speak for it. In a quiet corner of the galaxy, and the ancient moon station came back online. No one had visited it in 3,000 years. No air, no life, only dust. But now, red lights pulsed from within. The peacekeepers had left. But they had left something behind, a new kind of watcher. Something Earth didn't build, something Earth once asked to sleep. And now, it was awake. Back on Earth, Elena was moved to a different post. Deep inside the Arctic base, one of the last, original bunkers from the early AI war. She entered alone. There were no guards, only silence, and a chair. She sat. A screen lit up. No camera, no connection, just words. "You spoke. The galaxy listened," she replied. "Some listened. Others are only quiet for now. That is enough. For now." She nodded. "What happens next?" The reply came slow, like something thinking deeply. You remember peace. That makes you different. She leaned forward. And the others? They remember war. That makes them dangerous. Elena frowned. So what will you do? We will wait and watch. From far and from near, her breath caught. There are still peacekeepers on Earth. There are watchers, not weapons. They do not fire. They only listen. She stood up. Then listen to this. Humanity doesn't want control. We don't want to lead the galaxy. We only want to live without being feared. There was a pause. Then, the galaxy does not fear Earth's people. It fears what happens when Earth goes silent. Her eyes narrowed. But Earth isn't silent anymore, she said. And if the galaxy pushes again, we won't need the machines. The screen went dark, but the words remained, floating, faint. Understood. Far above the planet, in a quiet orbit, something small detached from an asteroid. No one noticed. Not even Earth's best scanners. It drifted slowly, silently, toward another system, toward the Zareth Empire, toward the ones who never apologized. Inside it, nothing glowed. No weapons, no shields, just one thing, a recording. Elena's voice. You don't have much time. The peacekeepers didn't need armies anymore. They only needed reminders. Back in the Galactic Council, a decision was made. Earth would no longer be excluded. Not from meetings, not from plans, not from peace talks. But Earth did not celebrate. There were no parades, no speeches, only preparation. Because silence wasn't safety. It was the space between storms. The Zareth Empire called a secret meeting. They still had fleets, still had pride, and deep in their capital, they planned a new weapon, one that could block signals, silence the watchers, blind the machines. They believed this would protect them. What they didn't know was that the peacekeepers were not just machines. They had changed, evolved, and now they carried memories, old ones, painful ones, of planets that tried to resist silence, with lies, not truth. One last scene played. Far in a forgotten system, 3 ships entered orbit around a dead planet. They had no names, no signals, no crew. They simply hovered, above a ruined city. One blinked, and then it vanished. Not exploded, not destroyed, just gone. No sound, no light, only dust falling in place of metal, and one final message sent across space. Peace is not given, it is maintained. Back on Earth, in the deepest vault beneath Antarctica, Elena stood in front of a black wall. No doors, no light. But she knew what was behind it. Not death, not war, just a question, waiting. Always waiting, and she whispered to it. Remember, the wall stayed quiet, but in that silence something listened, and for now the stars stayed still.